and welcome to your Thursday One show live on BBC One and iPlayer with Roman Kent.
And Alex Jones. Now, after a 2-year wait, tomorrow the Emmy-winning series Rivals returns to our screens. And joining us tonight are two of its leading men, David Tennant and Alex Hassel, a.k.a. Lord Tony Baddingham and Rupert Campbell-Black.
Now, they'll be telling us all about stepping back into the ruthless world of 80s television production and why this series has more scandal and rivalry than ever before. Can't wait.
Yeah, I know you can't. Yeah, I can hear it. And we'll be celebrating the legacy of the best-selling author behind the creation of Rivals, the late Dame Jilly Cooper, as we find out how she captured the hearts of a generation of fans.
Also coming up, we'll be joined by podcaster and presenter Sam Thompson. He'll be talking all about his debut children's book inspired by his own ADHD diagnosis, as he hopes to help young people see their differences as a superpower.
Yeah, and two people who have dedicated their lives to helping others are the inspirational Ange and Dave from Stoke-on-Trent, who have raised hundreds of thousands of pounds to help save lives through vital cardiac screenings.
Yes, and in tonight's one special thank you, we'll see the moving moment. Radio 1's Yinka Bokini introduces them to Lucy, who wants to personally thank the duo for saving her life.
Oh, you don't want to miss that. It's a really special surprise, that one. And of course, we love hearing from you. So if you've got a question for tonight's guests or just want to get in touch, you can, of course, on WhatsApp 0330 123 1700 or socials or email.
Not long now until David Tennant and Alex Hassel join us on the sofa talking about the return of Rivals. But as we mentioned, we are starting tonight by celebrating the best-selling author who made the hit series possible. For more than 5 decades, Dame Jilly Cooper's racy novels were devoured by millions. Creating a whole new genre of literature, she became one of Britain's most famous and best-selling authors, with fans including Queen Camilla herself.
She was up there with P.G. Wodehouse, and she was a great, great comedian.
I think the first time I read a Jilly Cooper, I was probably too young, so a lot of it went over my head.
This is Monica, who I bought in Cirencester, and she's absolutely brilliant. She typed all my books.
My heart has belonged to Jilly Cooper ever since we first met, which was at the beginning of the 1970s. And when you met her, you became her friend for life. She could meet anyone, talk to anyone. She spilt the tea and told the truth.
I think she was such a warm, engaging, generous person that built up a real fan base. She did a lot more than other authors in terms of keeping in close contact.
Jilly is so beloved by her fans that they set up a book club in her honour.
I don't think you can call it a book club anymore, can you? It's an institution. The first Jilly Cooper book that I read was Polo, and it was at my boarding school, and we passed this polo book round from student to student. It was dog-eared by the end of it.
I found myself reading scenes which were unlike many scenes that I had read before.
In the early days, she was saying things that maybe not a lot of people were saying. Some of them were a little bit naughty, but always it was truthful.
One could stop outside the bedroom door, but I always think it's slightly cheating.
And it was her strong characters that Jilly helped move from page to screen with shows like Rivals, something that she was involved in right up until she died last October.
Yeah, she was very involved. She'd be on set a lot, she'd be giving notes, she was a part of the whole production, really. And when she showed up, she was such a force. She was a big energy.
I think we should try to understand the
Set in the ruthless world of 1980s television, Rivals the series mixes excess, romance, and has introduced younger viewers to her world for the very first time.
I loved it. I binged it in like 2 days. It was brilliant. The 80s music, the fashion.
It's really poppy and colourful, and I feel like a lot of the television shows we've seen recently have been a bit dark, and I think this makes it seem really fun, very vibrant.
The luxury, the champagne.
Yeah, the whole English aesthetic is really lovely.
I just like watching them all intertwine, and all the betrayal and the lies, and I just think it's fascinating.
I'll make sure you're on the first plane back to America.
We know there's a new one coming out, so we're really excited.
Yeah, we're excited for season 2 of Rivals.
Oh, what a trailblazer. So excited about the second series. And lovely, of course, to see Giles there too.
Yeah, and I know our first guest tonight will have something to say on that film. It's the stars of Rivals, David Tennant and Alex Hassel. David, obviously we were watching that video there, and obviously the cast became very close to Gillian. She was heavily involved in the filming process as well.
Oh yeah, she was part of the writing team. You know, obviously she created the source material, but she's been involved in the scripts. She's been all over it from day one, and she's been on set a lot. And as Aidan said, she became, you know, she was so encouraging and generous, and I think we all feel quite privileged to have got to know her. You know, she was a real force.
I mean, it must have been hard making the second, without it, in some ways.
Well, we were filming when we lost her.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out of the blue and took us, you know, it took a bit getting over.
It did, yeah, but she'd had a hand in all of the scripts, even for season 2, all the way up to episode 12, so that felt really important.
She even has a hand in the storylining of season 3, which, you know,
is that right?
Happened yet. Yeah.
That's got to be an exclusive.
Yeah.
But she also, as we know, Alex, had a hand in the casting.
Yes.
And you say that it didn't quite go to plan the first time you met her.
Well, the first time we met, I'd already got the part, luckily, but Rupert Campbell-Black is supposed to be this very sexy, athletic figure, and I had just had really terrible food poisoning in Mexico and got wheelchaired off the plane and looked like this grey husk of a man turning up for the read-through of about 150 people. And I think everyone looked at me thinking, is this our Rupert Campbell-Black?
Yeah.
But luckily, Ginny was very gracious and was, by the end of the read-through at least, was very encouraging.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Well, Alex certainly made an impression on Dame Gilly, and tomorrow we will see him back in action as the hit series returns.
Yes, it follows the bitter rivalry between two television companies and their ambitious bosses, played by David and Alex, as Series 1 saw them fighting to take control of their local TV franchise.
Yes, and with both companies still in the run-in, the battle for power is far from over, and that's not the only thing heating up. Here's a look at what we can expect.
The A-Team. Back together again.
Sorry I'm late, darling. I've had a terrible headache. Rupert Campbell-Black and Declan O'Hara. We are ready to knock them out of the competition.
Let's get ready for a fight.
Let's get to work.
Don't try to play chess with me. You're not clever enough.
I want to win so badly. You make yourself very easy to beat.
So excited. Now, David, I don't know how to say this because some people might want to go back now and binge the first series as well if they hadn't seen it. But we'll just say that there was no certainty that your character Tony might be back for Series 2, ...
Yes.
But he is back and he is out for revenge.
It would be weird if I was here promoting a show I'm not in anymore.
Exactly.
So yes, I do make it into season 2. You will see quite quickly that Tony, he doesn't bounce back. But, well, you saw in the clip there, he's had a terrible headache. But he's back, and he's had a bit of an injury.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's not made him kinder. Let's just say that.
And, you know, he wasn't lovely to begin with.
Well, I mean, he's just doing what he needs to do. But it's, any filters that he did have seem to have evaporated.
Yeah. Well, it's not just professional rivalry, because it wouldn't be a Gilly Cooper story without the romance, of course. Alex's character, Rupert, is in the middle of a very messy love triangle with his friend's daughter, Taggy, and producer, Cameron. Alex, it gets, I guess, even more complicated in Series 2.
It does get very complicated. So Rupert and Taggy, at the end of season 1, have shared a kiss and declared that they have really strong feelings for each other. But Rupert has also promised Cameron that he will look after her, especially after she has bludgeoned Tony, batting him in the head.
Yeah.
So he is trying to be a better person because he's learning from Taggy, but him being a better person takes him away from Taggy towards Cameron, so it's really complicated.
Oh, he's pulled in all directions.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, the cast as well, David, are absolutely fantastic. Danny Dyer and Catherine Parkinson as well. Just won a BAFTA at the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, how good was it to see her win that?
Oh, great. I mean, it sounds like a miserable showbiz cliche, doesn't it? But it really does feel like a big family gang, and we really are. We delight in each other's company.
We really do, yeah.
Slightly, we have an unseemly amount of fun.
We do. We ruin takes all the time by just laughing.
We've had some questions in already. This one from Tracy, thank you so much. It says, David, what was it like working with your daughter?
Oh, yeah.
In the series?
We get to know Tony's two daughters in this series, and one of them is played by my actual daughter, Olive, who's been acting for a few years now, and and well, lovely for me to have her there. You know,
I can imagine. Yeah.
And Dominic Treble Collins, our exec, just before he sort of finalised the casting, he said, "I just want to check. You've got some quite big kind of emotional stuff coming up. Is that going to be difficult in front of your daughter?" But I mean, for me, I'm looking in the eyes of my actual daughter.
Yeah.
It's very moving. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Nice. And then Danny and yourself, Alex, had to learn how to ride, so that you to play polo. So
That's
it's not
right.
just riding through some woods. How did that go?
Well, it was really fun. It's completely different from riding normal horses because you've got to use one hand to steer, and they're incredibly responsive. So if you know what you're doing, that's really good because they'll go where you want. But if you don't know what you're doing, they're all over the place. And Danny would occasionally have crossed words, let's say, with his horses. But he was really proud to have got there in the end, and he does a brilliant job. And there's a lot of us riding in the show, which we're all very proud of.
Yeah, that feels like a whole separate other show. That
I think there's a spin-off of
Behind the scenes.
Danny Dyer and his horses.
Yeah, exactly. But David, for you as well, you were a teenager in the 80s, and I guess during this and during filming, you actually got to meet a musical hero of yours.
We all did. I mean,
Yeah, it was
I
a
think
special
we're
moment,
allowed to
wasn't
tell
it?
people this now. I mean, this is
I mean, we're being led to it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's not my fault.
Blame me, it's fine.
Yeah, we have a real 80s legend who comes and sings a song that defines the 80s for me.
Which one can you
we
say?
We all got to witness Christa Berg singing Lady in Red directly to us. He plays a singer called Chris. Who sings a song called Lady in Red.
Yeah, we all teared up. It was a really special moment.
Yeah. I was standing next to Lisa McGrillis, who plays Valerie, who I think might have wet herself a little bit. I mean, she was absolutely... I've never seen someone
it turns
so
out
weak
she's
at
a
the knees.
super fan. She got a lot of merchandise
and
signed.
then sort of padded round after him for the rest of the day.
They became fast friends.
But I can imagine in moments like that, it's probably similar to what sometimes happens to us. Did you forget you were filming in those moments and you're just watching this performance?
Yeah, well, we actually we used the rehearsal to kind of all line up and get our camera phones out.
Yeah, we weren't actually supposed to be there listening.
No.
We all just snuck in so we could watch him
but
do it.
He was very gracious.
He was.
He played to the crowd.
Brilliant.
Lovely. And is it true that you embrace the 80s music to get everybody into the sort of into the mood before a day of filming?
Yeah, that's it. In the makeup trailer, certainly in season 1, I'd play a Rupert 80s playlist of kind of music that got us all in the mood. And one of my favourites would always start with Kiss by Prince, which would be the very beginning of every single day at like 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. And luckily, most people were on board with that. Were you on board with that, David?
I think I came in a little later than 4:30.
Oh!
I have very little. I don't have the big hair, you see.
Well, that's it. It takes a lot of work to make me look like Rupert Campbell Black.
No. But look, the series, obviously, so many people, including ourselves, are such a fan. But George Clooney, am I right in saying, is a fan as well of the series, and you're hoping maybe cast him in that next series,
well,
David, if you're talking, if there is one?
Listen, if the Clune Star wants to get in touch,
the Clune
we'll
Star.
discuss it. I don't think he should take anything for granted, though.
No, he'd have to audition for it.
He'd
have to make
definitely
a
have to
tape.
Yeah.
Would he? What would he be?
Yeah.
I mean, he could be
king of the world.
Yeah.
King of the Cotswolds.
Yeah, King of the Cotswolds, yeah.
Well, we're very much looking forward to it. Rival Series 2 begins tomorrow on Disney+. And there's another TV treat for comedy fans tonight, because at 8 o'clock on BBC 4, you'll be able to watch a very special episode of the Morecambe and Wise show to mark what would have been Eric Morecambe's 100th birthday.
Yeah, it's an episode that was previously thought to be lost forever, and now it's being shown for the very first time in almost 60 years.
Yeah, and you were a fan of a particular sketch, Alex, the one with Angela Ripper.
That's right, yeah, when they're dancing.
I mean, can you believe that she had moves like this?
It's
I mean, she still
incredible.
does, to be honest.
She looks absolutely incredible. And what I love about it too is how graceful actually they are when they're taking it seriously. They're so brilliant.
Yeah.
Angela still does those moves every time she comes on here.
Honestly, that leg goes up.
Yeah, exactly. David, we've got to talk as well very quickly.
Sorry, Angela, you know what I mean, in a good way.
Yeah.
If you've got it.
Good clarification, well done. David, got to quickly talk about your good friend and comedy partner as well, Michael Sheen.
Comedy partner, I like that.
Well, I mean, you know, but filming Celebrity Traitors, I mean, he's obviously in there. And how do you think he's going to get on?
Well, I have no idea. They take all their phones away and stuff.
Yeah. They take it seriously.
But like when you heard he was going in there, were you like, oh, you could be the right man?
Well, he's very committed. I mean, he loves that show and he has studied it, and he will be all over it. He'll be playing to win for sure.
Better as a faithful or a traitor? What do we reckon?
I don't know. It just depends on... That game can go in all sorts of different directions, can't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very exciting.
100%.
Traitor.
Well, look, Well, still to come tonight, Sam Thompson will be here telling us how he hopes to help young people living with ADHD following his own diagnosis.
And two people who know all about helping others are the recipients of tonight's one special thank you, the incredible Dave and Ange from Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah, their dedicated charity work has helped save lives, and someone who knows all about this is 27-year-old Lucy, who wanted to personally thank them for all they've done. So Radio 1's Yinka Bikini helped make it happen.
Across the UK, there are many everyday heroes going the extra mile to help others. And today, I'm here to celebrate Ange and Dave, who have dedicated their lives to helping save young people from fatal heart conditions. I'm Yinka Bikini, a radio and TV presenter, and their story really chimed with me.
I was born with a potentially life-threatening heart condition, which required treatment immediately to save my life. It was tough for me, but for my family, I think it hit them just as hard. For Ange and Dave, it's a different story. They both lost children, but incredibly, these two people from two different families didn't just pick themselves up. They decided to act to prevent other families from going through the same tragedy.
Ange and Dave became friends when they both began volunteering for a charity called CRY. It provides cardiac screenings for young people so that hidden heart problems can be found and tackled before they become fatal. In 2016, Lucy Lees received life-saving surgery after attending a cardiac screening through the charity, and she wants to meet them to say thank you.
What did Ange and Dave do for you? So they both put on screenings, and I was lucky enough to go to one of them, and that was where my heart defect was picked up. So I had some follow-up tests because they noticed an irregularity, and then the cardiologist said, this can't go unmanaged. We probably need to put in a pacemaker. And did you get your pacemaker? Yes, been living a normal life since. What does it mean for you to be able to say thank you to Ange and Dave? It's difficult to put into words how meaningful that is, and how do you look at somebody and tell them that, you know, they've probably saved your life?
Ange and Dave think they've been invited for a radio interview to talk about the work of the charity, but they don't know they'll be meeting Lucy.
Dave and Ange are on their way. We have to hide you away. They think they're coming in for an interview. We'll bring you out when the time's right. You can listen in. Amazing. And I'll see you shortly. Yeah, great.
Lucy will be hiding in the sound studio while the interview takes place, listening in to everything they say. As the friends get settled, I kick off the interview.
I thought I would start by saying that I'm somebody who has a heart condition.
Yeah.
So I know just how important screenings are. What made you start?
Our son Nathan died 20 years ago. He was 16, nearly 17. Turned out he'd got enlarged heart muscle. Now we know it's over 12 young people die a week. And so that's why we started fundraising and doing screening.
Dave's family had a similar story.
We lost our son Daniel on the 19th of March in 2015, and it was a sudden arrhythmic death syndrome. And we thought, let's see if we can do something about it. So we started raising funds, and we screen as many as we can get through, really, and try and prevent it happening to other families. Very emotional events, though, I find, still now.
Yeah.
Oh, what about them is so emotional?
You talk to the people, and obviously they want to know your story. We talk about Nathan, we don't particularly talk about what happened, but I hear he's still part of the family.
Of course.
Even though he isn't here.
Just brings it home how that could have been me. That could have been my family. How often is it that you get to meet the people that you've helped?
We aren't allowed access to the results of the screenings.
Unless the clients come back and tell us, we don't know.
As the interview ends, the crew cues Lucy to get ready.
I do have someone here today who went to a screening and wants to say thank you.
Yeah.
So, Lucy, if you want to come in.
Oh.
Hello.
Wow. How was
Lovely
to
see you both. Yeah,
good to see you too.
Very much.
Lovely to thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Can't put into words a real world example of the work that's
done.
That is done.
Yeah.
So I should probably tell you that this is part of the One Show, and Lucy really wanted to say thank you to you.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's incredible. Thank you very much.
How incredible was that, seeing firsthand the difference that Dave and Ange have made to Lucy and so many others is just so special. think I'll leave them to it.
What a lovely moment that is. A massive thanks as well to Yinka, and keep up the good work, Ange and Dave.
And if you want to thank somebody special who's made an impact on your life, do get in touch at onebigthankyou@bbc.co.uk. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, and our next guest tonight is hoping to make a real difference to people's lives with his debut children's book called You, Me and ADHD. It's Sam Thompson. Mate, congratulations.
Just clapped.
Yeah,
that's the coolest thing in the world. Sorry,
but congratulations, Sam. I mean, this is a big thing. It's a self-help and advice book for kids with ADHD, and this is all following your own diagnosis, obviously later on in life. We've got to say as well, it's not official medical advice, as you would say, but it's a book that I know you wish you had had when you were growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to be honest with you, the reason I wrote it in the first place was because I was actually really nervous. It's sort of the neurodiverse world. You don't want to say something wrong, like you don't want to sort of dive in two-footed. And so I was never I never wanted to really put myself in that position. But then I thought, well, little Sam could have really done with that book.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wrote it for little me.
There he is.
Because when I was at school, I thought I was a really bad kid.
Yeah.
And I got told quite a lot at school that I was sort of really disruptive, wouldn't concentrate, and all my report cards and stuff. When you're that age and you read them and you go, what's kind of wrong with me? Because I'm not trying to be like that. And I would have just loved to have a book that went, hey man, you're fine, you are who you are, be proud of yourself. And would teach me something about myself. So yeah, I kind of wrote it for little Sam. I'm really nervous though, because I've never really done anything like this before. So
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, there'll be a lot
Really
of
good.
parents who will be really interested to read it. But you include some tips in it that you use in everyday life as well to help you get through certain situations. Can you share some of those with us?
Yeah, to be honest with you, after the diagnosis, I carried on speaking to my therapist, and I learned. When I was doing the documentary, I filmed a documentary about it as well, and some of the smallest things have turned out for me to be the biggest helps. I have a timesheet, which is just a big rectangular piece of paper, and on it I write sort of the most important tasks, the sort of less important tasks, the times I want to do them in, when I can do them, how I'm going to do them, and I write that down. And I just look at my sheet every single day and I have a tiny little clock, and that clock has little coloured numbers on it, and I just do 5 minutes. Every time that I can, I turn the little clock 5 minutes, and it really helps, because otherwise I get overwhelmed by, if paying a parking ticket's pretty hard.
Yeah.
And at 33, I feel like I want to be able to do the things like that. So a tiny little clock really helps me. I also have about 100 fidget toys. Literally every drawer in the house is stacked, and I always change every single time. It's a squeezer right now at the moment. Sometimes it's a flicker. And to be honest with you, the most important thing for me, which sounds just so basic, but it helps me so much, is just communication. I for a long time, my therapist actually said to me, she was like, your biggest thing that you need to do right now is just, I want to hear how many times a week you tell people about your ADHD. Because I always used to not talk about it. So I was like, well, no one wants to hear that, and I don't want people to think that, I'm sort of pushing it upon them. And she was like, that's completely the opposite of what you should be doing. If you're struggling to concentrate on a conversation you're having with somebody, explain that.
Yeah.
And be like, I have ADHD, this is what's going on with me right now. I really do care about what you're saying. I might just be feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now or something like that. And so I talk about it a lot more now. And I explain sort of how I am feeling at that moment with what I have. And I hope that with this book, hopefully kids will maybe have a little bit of guidance to speak to a parent maybe, or speak to their teacher at school, because teachers are brilliant. I've spoken to loads of teachers who are I just want to know.
Yeah.
They're I want to communicate with the parents, and if they need a minute outside, or if they need to sort of go to a different place in the class or use a fidget toy, I'm cool with that. The teachers are brilliant about it, and I think just the communication and having the pride in yourself as well, and knowing that you're special. Because ADHD is not always the easiest thing in the world. It's absolutely not. There are so many trials and tribulations that come with it. But I really wanted this book also, because kids are going to be told throughout their life how hard ADHD is. I want to tell them that it's actually, it can be, if harnessed correctly and if you're surrounded by the right people, it can actually be a real source of something really special, and you
Yeah.
can achieve loads.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can be super with it.
Yeah.
Oh, David, I mean, you're listening intently, nodding along, and this is something that your family has
For sure.
experience of, isn't
Yeah.
it?
My wife had a diagnosis relatively recently because we began to understand things through a diagnosis for one of our kids. So it's in there are fidget toys all over our house. But it's been brilliant, and because knowledge is power, and you understand, and it's liberating. I mean, I think later in life a bit frustrating that maybe you didn't know earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But at least once you have the knowledge, and especially if you're a kid, knowing how you can harness it and actually look for the advantages as well, and not see it as a negative, just something to be repositioned within your life, isn't it?
Yeah, and like to be like told you've got a disorder. I don't like that word. I don't like sort of how it's said.
Yeah.
Because as you just said, mate, like it can be harnessed, and so I really hope that the kids, because as you know, a later life diagnosis, I felt when I got diagnosed, I felt a massive weight come off my shoulder. I didn't even know the weight was there, and I actually said when we were filming the diagnosis, and I said to the director, I went, I'm not going to cry or anything like that. And she was like, we're not asking you to. And then I got the diagnosis and I wept. And I didn't realise, I was like, what the heck is happening to me?
Relief, though.
It is fantastic. And look, Sam's book, You, Me and ADHD, is out now.
And details of organisations which offer information and support on ADHD can be found at bbc.co.uk/actionline. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thank you so much to our brilliant guests.
Alex's mum.
It's my mum's 80th birthday.
Quick, we have to say, camera full.
Happy
Quick,
birthday,
here we go.
Mum.
Wow, what's her name?
There you go.
Anne.
Anne, go on, Anne!
Come on,
Go on, Anne.
Yeah, you can see the UK's entry. Look, Mum, No Computer performing live in tonight's Eurovision semi-final. That's in just half an hour's time here on BBC One, and you can follow all the action on BBC Radio 2.
I will be back tomorrow with comedian Tom Davis. See you then. Happy birthday, Anne. Bye.